It's time to get your Clix fix.
Hello and welcome back to Clix Fix. I'm Rory. It's been a day since I played with these pint-sized plastic people, and it was just a game against myself. I was just playing with, experimenting with some figures, but it's pretty fun. I'd never played with the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday set before, and they're pretty darn good. I like them. I'll probably use them again soon. Anyway, today we are going to be doing another One Awesome Clicks video. And the main figure that we're going to center this, if you have not seen one of these team building videos before, I take a figure that's super rare or higher, a little harder to get your hands on, whether it's from a main set or a promotion piece, or I don't know, Ellie from Con Ellie, whatever it is. Something like that, something harder to get your hands on, and then I build the rest of the team with stuff that's easier to get your hands on, mostly commons and rares. But the one we're gonna focus on today, the one awesome clicks that you get, you might pull, is the Swamp Thing from the Masters of Time set. I did not get the Swamp Thing, but I like the Swamp Thing. I don't know too much about him character-wise. I know he's very popular character-wise, but I do like this figure. I think I only have one other Swamp Thing piece, and he's like the White Lantern version of the Swamp Thing. Anyway, this Swamp Thing, Mystic Team Ability and Wild Card, got a lot of good keywords. Justice League Dark, Herald is amazing. So we're not gonna talk about Herald stuff, but he's a good option for any of those gods from the Disney Plus Next Phase set that look for the Herald keywords to go on somebody for free. He's ideal for that because my build here does reach exactly 300 points. And then Monster and Mystical Scientist, all amazing keywords. However, this is not a theme team, and you'll see why. His first trait here, plasticity, or we'll read what it is. The green allows me to be everywhere at once. Plasticity, poison, love having those traded. A lot of times I forget if a character has traded poison. I just forget to use it, but if you're using him, remember that. Free, generate a plant hindering terrain marker within 4 squares in line of fire. Just for free. Once every turn, you create one of those. This game, that marker has, when this marker hinders line of fire characters, instead modify defense +2. Also, free, make a close attack, but only to target a character occupying a square with any plant terrain marker, regardless of adjacency. So he can put one out there that's 4 squares away from him, just for free, and then he can free make a close attack. So he's got to get in there. He's got an 8 movement, so he's got a decent range just by himself. You just move 8, place the plant hindering terrain marker, and then attack through it. So that is just good by itself. It's also the main reason we have him on the team. I'll have to admit that the team isn't necessarily built around him, but he helps this team a lot because he can create plant hindering terrain markers all the time, all over the place. But we'll keeping on with him. Second trait, I'm whatever size the green needs me to be. Shape change, support, awesome. Traded support. And honestly, he might be using that a bit with this team. And free, choose one to use until you choose again. Tiny size, regular size, or giant size. getting that willpower, and it's until you choose again. So it's pretty awesome in that way. Ba-ba-ba-ba. Oh, and you might just want to choose tiny size because if they have a range focused team, get +1 to your defense when they're shooting at him, and they can't, like, if he's not giant, they can't see him over other characters and stuff like that. Anyway, then he's got a special defense. The last 3 clicks of his dial, super senses, and free remove any one plant terrain marker within 4 squares of Swamp Thing from the game. If you do after resolutions, he may use regeneration as free. So, awesome way to heal him back up. Like, he can heal others, he can heal himself. Pretty awesome. But you do want to have plant terrain markers out there. To do that, let's look at this other character. Rare from the Deadpool and Weapon X set, Panda Pool. He was on my top 5 for the set. You got Deadpool core, animal, assassin, martial artist. They don't share. He doesn't share any keywords with Swamp Thing. Too bad. But he's got this. Gotta make time to eat. Panpool can't be given a costed action if he has an action token. That's his main drawback. He can't go twice in a row. When he clears action tokens, heal him 3 clicks if he's within 2 squares of any plant terrain markers. So Swamp Thing being able to just put out these plant terrain markers wherever he wants to put them makes that more likely to happen for Pandapool. Yeah. And he'll be, clearing actions every other turn because he can't get a second one unless, he can't put a second one on himself because he can't be given a costed action that way. Anyway, that's his first trait. Second trait, at the beginning of the game, generate 3 plant terrain hindering markers anywhere on the map. This game, those markers have, when this marker hinders line of fire, characters instead modify defense +2, kind of the same way as the ones for Swamp Thing. And then he also has friendly characters with the animal keyword within 2 squares of 1 or more plant terrain markers modify attack and damage +2. So that is freaking awesome. And through his whole dial, he has the special movement of Charge Flurry. So it's kind of like 2 attacks. It's just in a flurry instead of in 2 separate turns. But did I hold him out? I don't think I held him out. Pandapool. Mine has an error, has stuff not printed on the base, but pretty awesome. So that trait there, the Bamboo, where he boosts the attack and damage of animals within 2 of those things, that's the main reason why we want Swamp Thing paired here is because he can put those out wherever he needs to put them. Make sure that it's within 2 of your other animals. This could be, if it wasn't for Swamp Thing, it would be an animal team. Swamp Thing is there. The reason we're focusing on Swamp Thing, because the thing I thought was cool was he could just put out those hindering those terrain markers for free once every turn. And I decided, you know what, we're going to figure out who can make the most out of those. So we go to Panda Pool, and I'm saying we're putting 2 Panda Pools on this team. I was playing at the time, but I was hearing a game at the venue where I was playing, where a guy was playing with 3 Panda Pools, and it was ridiculous. Yeah, Mark, talking about you. Anyway, 2 Panda Pools on this team. Because that trait is not unique, he's not a unique figure, there's not a unique modifier there, both panda pools, for one, will get +2 to their attack, +2 to their damage when they are within of those. And they're already putting out at the beginning of the game, each one puts out 3. So you have 6 already on the map. So unless your opponent is taking actions to destroy those things, which I don't know, it could be worthwhile, but Swamp Thing is putting them out every turn. It'd be hard to keep up. Just gotta know strategically where to put them, where it'd be best. Anyway, so 2 panda pools, 1 Swamp Thing. What's left? We have 85 points left. And I decided to go with a figure that can really, really take advantage of the boost from those panda pools. And that is the rare Sasquatch from Wheels of Vengeance. In that Bigfoot pose, being caught on camera. Over here. Is he better viewed over here? Oh, well, Sasquatch. He has this trait, Realm of the Great Beasts. At the beginning of your turn, choose one for Sasquatch to use until he chooses again. Perplex, Probability Control, and Support. Support, maybe, if you really want to keep somebody else alive, and that's the thing you want to do. But Perplex is great to use if you want to boost his defense, because you're already going to be hopefully boosting his attack and damage twice. Probability Control might be your best choice for him most of the time. Anyway, the main reason is this special movement he has: Charge, Leap, Climb, Quake. When it's like he's getting there, he's getting where he needs to go, and he can Quake. When Sasquatch uses Quake, he deals normal damage, and after resolutions, he may take a terrain action as free. So, his damage is dealt normally. Quake usually says instead of normal damage, hit characters are dealt 2 damage. Let's just look at it. Okay. Destroy all terrain markers and printed pieces of blocking terrain within 1 square. So you got to make sure that that he's not next to the bamboo markers when he does his quake, because they will get destroyed. So they have to be 1 further away, because they have to be within 2. So Swamp Thing, he has to go and place that specifically. It can't be just right next to where Sasquatch is going to be quaking. Sorry. And keeping on with Quake, then make a close attack, targeting all adjacent opposing characters. Could be multiple, could be up to 8. Anyway, each hit character is dealt 2 damage instead of normal damage. But he ignores that last part. He just does his regular damage to all of the hit characters. Remember, you only split up damage hitting multiple characters when you're using the bolts. That's in the comp. Like, it's only when you use bolts to target multiple characters that you split up the damage. So Sasquatch, if he's 2 away from one of the plant hindering terrain markers, he will have at top click, he will have a 13 attack for 5 damage, and he will do that to everybody he hits in that quake. I think that's pretty cool. And then, if he happened to pick up some other terrain on the way, then then he can make his second attack using the terrain. Bam. My question here, I'm just thinking about it now. If he picks up one of the plant, no, he can't pick up. Yeah, he can. If he picks up one of the plant hindering terrain markers, is it then considered to be within 2 of him? So he would get the boost even if there's not another one on the map there? And if so, would that then mean he has to destroy it because he's using a quake, but he's holding it? I don't know. I'm not that far into the rules. If somebody knows, put it in the comments below. What would happen if he picks up one of the plant hindering terrain markers during his charge and is holding it when he does the quake? Anyway, let me know. But that is 300 points. That's the team. Really think it'd be fun to have Sasquatch just running around doing 5 damage with each quake, and then they still got to deal with Panda Pools, which will have 13 attack for 6 damage in doing a flurry. Swamp Thing, if he doesn't get it because he does not have animal, but he's the one that's making sure that you'll have those pieces wherever you need them. Now, if you don't have Swamp Thing, but you have the other stuff, I don't have 2 Panda Pools. I only have 1. I would like to get another just to do something like this. But you could somebody else that puts out plant hindering terrain markers. Looking at Poison Ivy number 52 from the set, she puts out plant hindering terrain markers when you destroy opposing terrain markers. So that's kind of dependent on what your opponent is doing, what they're playing with. So maybe not as reliable as Swamp Thing. The special Poison Ivy, I think this is from the Play at Home kit. Free generate a plant hindering terrain marker. This game, those markers have. So she creates them for free as well. And she's only 60 points. So if you want to save some points, this Poison Ivy could be a good one instead of Swamp Thing, if you want to go in that direction. Still would not be a theme team, but but if you use, now this is, I thought that this could easily have gone and had a different character as the main focus of the team, but essentially the main focus of the team is Sasquatch and what Panpool does for Sasquatch and assisting that interaction. I was thinking also the super rare Swamp Thing from next phase. When he starts the game, generate 4 plant hitting terrain markers anywhere on the map. And they have that same thing. Free place Man Thing in any plant terrain marker within 3 squares. So he doesn't continuously generate them, but he just makes 4. So that's a total of 10 that you're putting out at the beginning of the game if you use him and 2 Panda Pools. That's likely gonna get you about where you need in map coverage of where you want these things to be. Granted, if your opponent starts destroying them whenever they're close, it could just make the whole strategy irrelevant. Which is why I think Swamp Thing is a little bit better of a choice, even though he makes it not a theme team and he's 40 points more. But Man Thing is a good option if you want to keep a theme team an animal, because then he can take advantage of the boosted attack and damage as well. Then there's also 40 more points you can put onto the team for whatever you want to do there. Now, if you were going in the animal direction and maybe didn't want to play 2 Panda Pools, just wanted to use 1, there are a lot of other great animals. Or if the point value is higher that you're playing at, if it's a 400 point game, whatever. If you want to make it an animal theme team using Man Thing instead, there are a lot of great animals to put on the team that can take advantage of Panda Pool's boosts. Caveman Wally West, he is a great one. because he can make a lot of attacks. And the difficulty with him is he doesn't have any printed attacks higher than 10. So boosting his attack would be very, very useful, I think. And he has super strength. So if we figure out if he gets the boost, if the animals get the boost from Panda Pool, if they're holding the plant terrain markers, if he just carries it around and then it'll drop under him when he goes to his one click and does the flurry blades, whatever. I don't know. I, if that's a possibility, if he can just carry it around, it would be easier to, keep it in that group. Keep it in place where you need the hindering terrain markers to be to get the boost. Anyway, also keeping it an animal theme team, the coming swarm of ants, I think would be super fun because they're gonna boost other animals up with their attack again. They can just be carried along. They don't need to do attacking. They can poison if that's something that they can do on the next turn after they're carried. But I think that'd be fun to bring the swarm of ants along. Uh, these are not in any particular order either. Supersaur, basically all of the dinosaurs from Masters of Time. They have the animal keyword. They would be a lot of fun to take advantage of Panda Pool. Also, them being 2x2s, taking up 4 squares, it's easier to get them within 2 of the terrain markers. So they get the boosts. Dinosaur Hatchling, I think would be fun. He would be a lot of fun to do. He doesn't. He's not. The purpose of him isn't to have him in there mixing it up. He can do some damage with his blades and stuff like that. He's got shape change, like a 50-50 shape change, and oh, I love that when he succeeds, he then can't be targeted by opposing characters for the rest of the turn. But when he KOs an opposing character, so these Panda Pools make it help him get that possibility of KOing uh, other characters. He gets a growth token, or at the beginning of the turn. So when he's KO'd by an opposing effect, he can pull in somebody else with the animal keyword, turn that character to their first KO click, heal them 1 for each growth token on him. He's only 45 points. But who he brings in, their point value does not matter. You could bring in, a lot of people have talked about it, Kong. Or just have Kong on your team because he's an animal. And he'd be great. He'd be doing a lot more damage. I'm not. Everybody knows what's up with Kong. If you don't know what's up with Kong, totally just read him. Captain America, another great animal. The thing I've seen with Captain America, a lot of time he's playing him at 40 points. You're like, okay, there's a threat. I need Captain America to take care of the threat. Throw him in there. He makes his attack. He misses. If he hits, he's dangerous. But if he misses, it hurts so bad. So if you can get his attack up to a 13, maybe even a 14, hey, use 3 Panda Pools. But and Captain America gets +3 to attack and damage. That'd just make him so much more likely to hit, to destroy what is most dangerous to him. And then, yeah, I like that. I don't have this Captain America, but the one of the Pegasus. Another great animal, same sculpt as Sasquatch, Doc Sasquatch. I love this figure, especially because he's just so hard to get rid of. And if he constantly has a boosted attack to at least a 13 and damage of 6, it's 6 or 7, not 7, possibly 7 if you have other things, but 5 or 6, whatever. He's just really good, and he's really hard to get rid of. And he has the outwit, and he has the perplex, and he could perplex up all of Sasquatch's all of his combat values. So if you wanted to do, instead of Swamp Thing, put Doc Sasquatch on there. If he wasn't Prime, it would be a Pulp team. Well, no, Pulp, Figures, or Highlander, I think. So you can't use two Panda Pools. Anyway, Sasquatch could do it instead. He'll boost all combat values +1 if they share a keyword. Anyway, other animals you could do, but Swamp Thing, I think, is the figure that can make other figures that use the plant hindering terrain markers way more effective, just because he can put them out every turn. Him or the poison ivy. Either way, neither of them have the animal keyword, but yeah, that's the team I'm thinking of. I just think it'd be super fun. Sasquatch quaking for 5 on all those people wherever he wants on the map, because Swamp Thing just makes it happen. And if Sasquatch gets hit past that ability, that charge and quake and everything like that, the full damage quake, that's why Swamp Thing with his um, support, traded support, just get Sasquatch next to Swamp Thing and support him. I think that would be a great way to keep that Sasquatch alive and keep that danger on the board. Anyway, as my team, what do you guys think you would do to switch this up, change it around? Would you decide to make it a theme team? If you're using Swamp Thing, what theme team would it be, and how would you make that happen? Or what animals would you want to take advantage of Panda Pool, whether it's 1, 2, or 3 that are on the map? Put your comments down below. I love to talk about this Theorycraft, and I hope that today satisfied a little bit of your addiction to Clix, just like mine. Got you your fix for today, and we will see you guys next time. Bye.